What's up, UA fam? Ashley here. And if you love this podcast and you actually find yourself re-listening to episodes and wanting more of Taryn and I, guess what? You should subscribe to our Supercast where we give you bonus content every single week. But not just basic episodes, we do interactive episodes like personalized AMAs where you can specifically ask Taryn how her dating life is going, and you can specifically ask me how it's been living with my boyfriend this past few months. We do solo episodes and even scary episodes because we know how much you guys love those scary stories. And our Supercast community has been growing exponentially, so don't miss out. Subscribe to Supercast now and join the fun. Hey.
How y'all doing?
We're hanging in there. How you doing?
It's been a crazy chapter of life.
Obviously, as you guys know, this is an LA-based podcast. So the last week.
Has it been a full week?
It'll be a week tomorrow. Today is Monday, and obviously we are a week behind.
Let's just speak this out.
Yeah.
Let's manifest this.
Yeah.
By the time you're hearing this, the fire is fully contained.
Let's just speak it out.
And we are already in rebuild mode. I feel like LA is coming together so beautifully
fast too. Yeah.
Yeah. Like to the point where like all these places are like, stop sending donations. Like we're at capacity, which I think is so beautiful.
It's amazing.
When disaster strikes, it's very interesting because I think sometimes people step in ways that they think are helpful that are actually not.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's been this new wave of people actually like listening and like reaching out and being like, okay, what are things people need? Like, you need meals, we'll make meals. Like, firefighters need Zyn packs. Like,
done.
We'll get them.
Whatever
like,
you need.
Yeah.
Today's episode is brought to you by Ritual. I don't know about you guys, but my morning routine now with, my New Year goals and my New Year resolutions has gotten a lot more stressful. I'm already starting to feel that slump. And how am I getting through it, you ask? Let me tell you, I've been starting my mornings with Ritual's Stress Relief. This product uses first of its kind technology to support the body's natural cortisol response so that you can take on the daily juggle. Their Stress Relief BioSeries technology is designed to optimize the release of a trio of clinically studied ingredients to help your body manage stress. Listen, guys, the juggle is real. Don't just respond to stress, but get ahead of it with Stress Relief from Ritual. Get 25% off your first month at ritual.com/advice, ADVICE. Start Ritual or add Stress Relief to your subscription today. That's ritual.com/advice for 25% off.
I don't know. I think it goes to show, I think that people have like really beautiful hearts. And I think when people are seeing other people suffering in a way that like is unimaginable to you, like it makes me so emotional because like I can't even imagine like what so many people are going through, and it almost makes me feel like guilty that I'm okay.
Right.
But I think what's cool is like we can still like be there, and whatever that looks like we can send money, we can send clothes, we can open our homes, we can like spread awareness. Like there's so many things to do, and I just think this has been so devastating, but also it's very beautiful at the same time to see people rise up and be like, okay, how can we help?
And what happens is it's intoxicating.
Yeah.
I was working at a donation center this past weekend, and the way it started with like just a few piles of stuff to the point where we were turning people away and saying we couldn't take your clothes. Like we're done. Like we can't hold anything else, was wild. And the amount of people that were lining up outside the door to drop off things, everything. Like it was like men, women, kids, dogs, like food, like it was all kinds of stuff. And it got very beautiful, very quick.
Yeah.
And it really like brought a huge sense of like community, I feel like, to a city where I wouldn't say community is like its biggest flex.
And that's what like I've seen so many people talking about it is like LA has this reputation of being like so shallow and self-serving. And while I think like that is part of some circles,
for sure,
like I think it also just shows like when something comes up, like you put that to the side and like rise up. And like I think like when something like this happens, like you don't need that personal connection to people to like feel for them and to like want to do something. And I don't know, even for me, like I have well, me and Ash both know someone personally who lost like absolutely everything, and her situation is just like so heartbreaking. And I literally went through like my entire apartment. First of all, I saw you post something about this. I've never been more thankful for PR. Oh my God. Me too.
Literally gone. I emptied mine and Alicia's closets.
Yes.
I can't offer anything else anymore. It's gone.
No, but like, it's just so cool because like that was my first thing when I was texting her when I heard what happened. I'm like, oh my God, like your makeup. Like just like little things. It seems like insignificant, but if you think about as a woman, how much money you've spent getting products, finding the things you like all this stuff.
And how quickly you have to go back to normal day reality. Like we have to go to work.
Yeah.
You know, it's Monday. Like everyone, it doesn't matter what's going on. Like you do have to go back to work.
For sure.
And for a lot of women, that means like a little bit of makeup.
Yep.
And if you don't have any and you're like currently trying to scrounge money together to like pay for a temporary housing, then like,
yes, that's
what do you do?
Exactly what I was going to say. Like, I think it feels dumb. Not dumb, but it's
it
like,
feels
you
like
know,
not
you
a necessity.
overthink. You overthink things like, oh, like, do they really need makeup? But it's like, okay, if I'm going through a disaster, I'm not going to be able to justify going out and buying makeup when I'm needing to figure out like, I don't have a car anymore.
Food,
I don't have a home.
Transportation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was so cool. Even like I had a bunch of like Lego sets from like Lego, but off brands Legos too, that like I just had built up. And my sister-in-law knows like there's like a small little chain of basically like 8 families that all have kids. And so it was like that where I'm like, okay, there's these brand new boxes of like toys. And, you know, I'm looking in my hair drawer and I'm like, I've never used this curling iron, but it's beautiful and it's new. Like, so it's just little things like that I feel like I don't know. I just went through and was like, there's so much that I don't need. And there's people that literally are starting from the ground up.
And it's weird. When you think disaster, you think necessities. And I ended up posting about this and I felt so weird posting this week. Like I was like, I'm not going to. And so I ended up like just doing stories, but I went to that donation thing and I brought like shampoo, body wash, face wash, waters, like toilet paper, like it was like necessity stuff. I went there and I saw these girls coming and there was a tiny makeup bin and they were like, scrounging through it, trying to grab stuff. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
I have so much makeup at my house that didn't qualify as a necessity in my head. And that was such a weird moment where I was like, okay, I'm coming back tomorrow and I'm like literally bringing everything. Yeah. Because I would need makeup.
Exactly.
I mean, I obviously feel comfortable enough with you guys, my podcast family, to come here without makeup, but I prefer a little bit. Like, and like if I was supposed to, I'd feel weird coming here and not having a little bit of makeup on. And that means like other women are going to feel the same way. And it was just such a weird moment. So like, I think it's been cool seeing people like with your Legos where it's like, no, like someone lost everything and they have a kid. Here's a Lego to like occupy them and make them feel like everything's normal a little bit, you know?
And it's the person we were talking about that we know, like she's really into like art and like she's crazy talented at like drawing and calligraphy and like all this stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, like all her stuff. So like I like got a like huge pack of markers and like a really cute coloring book. Cause I'm like that, like maybe that'll bring her just some peace to like sit and color. It's like trying to think of like creatively think of like ways you can like give any type of peace, whatever that looks like. And not like, I mean, obviously like if you're donating to companies, like you don't know specific things like, oh, she finds peace in like art and whatever. But like we're all connected like somehow to someone. So I think it's just what I've noticed is it's just putting like your ear to the ground and being like someone posts that they know someone, reaching out and being like, hey, like what is needed? Like, you know, we have so many friends that are like just throwing their Venmos out and are like, hey, send money, I'm buying stuff. And it's nice because, you know, not everybody has the means or knows where to start, but you probably know of someone who's gotten started. So it's just looking at your family and your circle of people around you and then trying to like partner up, you know?
Yeah, no, it's literally been absolutely insane. It's been so cool watching everyone like show up and show out. And the crazy thing is I think LA kind of like got together really fast and started like doing work like this. That's why it's
that's why a lot of organizations already are like turning away stuff. But it's one of those things, I saw Phineas post this, that it's like, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So like, don't forget in 10 days that families have been displaced. And yes, now they have like sweatpants and a pair of shoes, but like, let's get them another pair of shoes. Let's get them like some real jeans, you know, like there's things. He said something really simple, and he was like, set a reminder for yourself in 10 days to like do it again.
Dude, that's so, okay. That's what I feel like I was trying to get at earlier and I was failing. There's something that comes with like disaster, that there's a popularity wave
for 3 days
minute, where it's like,
weekend.
Okay, well, everyone's posting. I almost feel obligated. Like, and again, every little bit counts. So like
100%.
Whether $1 is coming from someone who's like, oh shoot, I feel like I should because everyone else is, or $1 is coming from someone who's like out clearing brush. Like, you know what I mean? Like it still is amazing. And I'm not trying to undermine that, but I do think there's a danger with, because our society, there's such a pressure to jump on things or else you get attacked, that it's like you jump at the beginning as your check off and then you kind of forget about it. And even like, you know, when I first was posting about like my cancer stuff, everybody reached out. Like, I'm here, like, oh my gosh. But it was a very, very small circle of people that actually kept checking in and being like, hey, like, do you need food? Like, how can we help you? And that's, again, everybody's so busy in their own life. But I think that's a danger that comes when you feel like, okay, cool. Like, I checked things off and now I'm moving on. So I think it's a really good reminder to us of like, okay, this was still important what we gave, but like, it's just as important to keep checking in because everyone's getting all these things now, but like everyone's like able to find, I mean, all these companies are like, here's a free Airbnb, here's free meals. What happens when that stops?
Yeah, exactly. And when I was talking about this yesterday was kind of weird because it was Sunday. Like all of this happened like right before the weekend. And then everyone went crazy this weekend, like donating, working really hard, volunteering, doing all this stuff. But then like yesterday, I couldn't see the smoke anymore from my house and I saw blue skies and it felt weirdly normal. And then today I had to go back to work and like all of us did, you know, it's Monday. So it's like, okay, that was a crazy weekend, back to work. And it feels like this, like, okay, we're done now, but it's like, we're not. And we need to make sure that we continue talking about it. So I'm actually glad that this episode's coming out like a week from today because it'll be a really great reminder of like, no, there's all of still a lot of people that have been displaced. Like the fires still happened. And it's a good reminder of like, all right, like, let's do a weekly check-in of like organizations around us or people around us or people that we know to check in on again, because just because it's feels over doesn't mean it's not over for them, you know?
No, for sure. Yeah. It's been very weird because, I mean, obviously LA, like there's so much here that I love so much. Like there's so many people here that I love so much and I was like so worried about. And like, it was really weird being removed and like living in Orange County now because I'm watching all these people's story and like being scared and evacuating. And I look out my window and it's like, beautiful weather, nobody's talking, everyone's just like at Target, like doing their thing, like and so it was so hard to like be removed. And I think that's why like a lot of guilt kept coming up because I'm like texting you and you're like, we just got a bunch of waters, or like so-and-so's power is out, or so-and-so like needs a place to stay, and like all this stuff. And it's like, that is so crazy that I'm less than an hour drive from you, but like I'm just chilling. Like, I mean, it's such a weird thing. And I think that's where the danger of like distance comes in because a lot of people are like, well, I don't live in LA. I checked on my people.
Imagine being in a different state. Yeah. You know, it's like life
like the
goes
Hawaii
on.
fires. Like I was like, oh my gosh, this is so tragic, and donated. And like, honestly, when all these fires came, I had so much guilt that came out because I'm like, I never check back to see like
how things
are doing, or like,
on.
So it's hard to like stay in that place. And I think it's like you said, it's almost like putting a reminder like a month from now or a week from now and just being like, okay, I'm just gonna like check in. Like, how are people doing? Is there anything I can do to like still help?
Yeah, let's all collectively right now.
Pulling up my phone.
Grab our phones and set a reminder for 1 week from today to check in.
Let's do January 27th.
We should do that for us, but yes, we'll do the 27th. Yeah. Collectively.
We'll post it. Fire
check-in.
Fire check-in.
for Monday. I'm even using the color red because red means important in my color-coded calendar.
Today's episode is brought to you by Ritual. I don't know about you guys, but my morning routine now with, my New Year goals and my New Year resolutions has gotten a lot more stressful. I'm already starting to feel that slump. And how am I getting through it, you ask? Let me tell you, I've been starting my mornings with Ritual's Stress Relief. This product uses first of its kind technology to support the body's natural cortisol response so that you can take on the daily juggle. If you followed me on YouTube, then you already know I have used Ritual for years now. I am obsessed with their symbiotic gut health. I have used their multivitamins on and off for years, but their new Stress Relief is probably my favorite product that they've ever made. Their Stress Relief BioSeries technology is designed to optimize the release of a trio of clinically studied ingredients to help your body manage stress. Shodan ashwagandha has been clinically studied to support normal cortisol levels and reduce stress. Suntheanine L-theanine is clinically studied to provide quick stress relief within an hour and a non-drowsy sense of calm, which that's my favorite part. And Afron Saffron is clinically studied to promote a positive mood and reduce stress. These three things together are the superpowers behind the product, and I cannot stress this enough. They work so well. Ritual suggests taking stress relief in the morning when cortisol is typically at its peak to support the body's natural cortisol response with an instant and extended release formulation for all day support, guys. It's not going to hit you once and then leave. You're going to have it all day long. Listen, guys, the juggle is real. Don't just respond to stress, but get ahead of it with Stress Relief from Ritual. Get 25% off your first month at ritual.com/advice, ADVICE. Start Ritual or add Stress Relief to your subscription today. That's ritual.com/advice for 25% off.
Dude, the one thing that has been so confusing to me is the percentage, the containment percentage. I don't understand it.
Jackson and I have talked about this probably every night. We have zero understanding of what containment means. I've landed at the point where I'm like, I think it means heat X acreage. Not necessarily flame, but hot spot.
And then I was watching something the other day and they made a statement that made it seem like these two things are connected.
Yeah.
And it was the containment percentage and risks that they're anticipating.
Yeah.
So they were like, yeah, right now, the winds have died down, but the winds are picking up in a couple days. And there's all this area that hasn't been treated for, there's dry brush and whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it also has if that's included.
I Googled it. Which is so funny.
Why have we not done that before?
Why didn't I do this all
This is
weekend?
what I'm telling you.
Literally every night. Jackson and I, maybe it's this.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that. Trying to come up with all these freaking...
I will say, the guy that I'm dating is
a Googler.
Google king.
So is Jackson.
And every time I'll be we'll say something. I'll be like, I wonder what this is. Then I'm
Let's ask
talking
Google.
about what I want to eat and he'll bring it up and I've already forgotten that we talked about it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
is he a
learning
chat
so much.
GPT too? Because Jackson's obsessed with chat GPT.
I don't think he does chat GPT. He's
anytime I have a question.
He's a Twitter and Google. He's on Twitter all the time.
Interesting.
Because he's like, this is my form of entertainment and what I learn. Oh, X, sorry. The tweeter.
I literally hate that name.
No, I do
it's
too.
The stupidest thing. Okay. Containment is a term firefighters use to represent how much of a control line has been placed around a fire, which could then allow firefighters, at least in theory, to contain its spread. So containment meaning an outline around the fire that have.
That makes so much sense.
Applied a fire retardant or whatever.
Because they haven't, right now, they're still in trying to extinguish and focus on the neighborhood areas, but all the brush just keeps
yes,
doing its thing.
Yeah, so that makes way more sense to me because it was crazy saying it was 0% contained, and I would just be like,
0% is wild. I was like,
it's Saturday. This has been going on for a while.
Yeah.
0 is insane. It was the craziest.
Well, and then, so did you see that thing that they accidentally sent out?
Yeah, I got it.
Girl, I got it.
I've been getting...
My whole family got it. And we're so far from the fires. And we got an evacuation warning. And all of us are texting in the family chat we're looking up. There's no fires. I'm confused. And then they released something saying it was an accident. That guy got fired for sure.
I think a lot of people are going to be getting fired this week. Now that Monday's happened and we're back to business to a degree, I think a lot of people are going to be like, hey, you're gone. What you said, you're
Not
gone.
it.
Yeah. And it was one of those kind of like boy cried wolf things, because I must have gotten 40 emergency alerts on my phone, to the point where I was grabbing food yesterday after a Costco run. The whole place lit up with an emergency sound. Not one person moved. We all just turned them off because we were like desensitized to it.
Yeah.
And I got used to it, and now I don't look, because I'm like, no, I know I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't know what area it is, but it's not my area.
That's crazy.
It was so weird, and it was just like everyone was kind of on the same understanding of like, these keep happening and going off, and it doesn't necessarily mean me, but it means something for someone. That's what was scary about it.
No,
was
it is so wild.
Someone should pay attention to a little bit. Yeah, it's been interesting watching everyone's stories. I have a girlfriend who I go to events with all the time. She's another influencer. I went and gave her a bunch of stuff. Again, thankful for PR. But she has had this crazy, like she went through this huge breakup in November with her boyfriend of like 5 years, got her own place, and has been going through this whole process of like posting about her making this place her home. Lost it. She was in the first Palisades
Are you
fire.
serious?
Yeah. And it was just like the craziest like twist. And then she posted that one of her best friends like gave her a little survival kit, and like she was like, I now own a hairbrush. And it was just like,
oh my gosh.
it was insane. Like the amount of people that literally lost everything and like were working hard for this stuff. And I think another huge crazy misconception was everyone posting that like the celebrities will survive. And I was like, not only celebrities live in the Palisades, and not only rich people live in Santa Monica,
But
especially
also,
not in Altadena.
You're telling me that just because someone is like rich and well off, that they're not going to mourn losing their kids' like
everything
memories.
They
and
have like 3 bags.
dude, you know who I've been like? Spencer Pratt.
I was just about to bring him up. He's somehow become like the face of this whole thing.
Literally.
And it's incredible.
But like, I loved, like, he posted something where someone was like, not you milking your house burning down. And he was like, of course I'm going to milk it.
Yeah.
Like, of course, like if I can go on social media and make money to rebuild my house.
But did you see it's working?
Oh, it's totally
he
working.
was like, hey, everyone go stream my wife's music that she posted.
And then that video of him,
ago.
was he live or was it a video? But he was I saw a comment that said he was like, he had said he was like 5 glasses of wine in, and he's just sobbing hysterically about his wife being #1 on the charts. And I'm just like, I don't know, but it's like one thing, because he's like, you know what? He's like, before this, everyone was like, you are a broke, has-been, poor, D-list celebrity. And he's like, then my house burns down, and everyone's like, you rich, famous person? Like, how dare you? He's like, I can't win.
Sorry. It's a lose. It's literally a lose-lose, but I've never related to anything more. I think actually Taryn and I are very similar in this. Whenever we're going through something, stupid humor comes out, and it's seen as inconsiderate, or like it might be viewed as like bad timing or like tone deaf, but everything he's doing on socials is what I would be doing if I had lost my literal everything. I would just be like I'd be probably a little drunk and like posting the stupidest stuff, because I'd be like, this is how I process trauma.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit in the corner and cry and like be devastated and depressed, or I'm going to be like somehow trying to make a joke out of it, because how else am I supposed to like go forward? And I loved what he was doing.
And I think the thing is like everyone has a right to process in their own way. And like, it's not like he's out making fun of the fires. Like,
no.
He's literally like showing his property, and like, I don't know. Like, I
thought what he was doing was great.
Yeah. Who else did I see
and
that
he
was
has
getting
kids,
hate?
and he was in the first wave of fire. He was like, they got no warning.
Yeah.
Whereas like people a few days ago had days to like prepare and pack.
What was it Whitney Cummings who also was like, she posted a video crying from her podcast studio? Yeah. So she posted this video of like basically right before she was evacuating, and she's crying in her studio, and she's like, all of this is like what we've built together. And she's just like, this is so surreal that I know this feels dumb to be crying about a podcast studio, but like
a lot of effort,
everything
a lot of
started
money,
here. And
a lot
she's
of
like
time.
showing she's crying and she's showing it and like looking out the window at the smoke coming. And she's just like mourning, like having to leave. And that's the thing. Like a lot of people are like when they had to actually like watch their house as they're driving away. And like, I don't know if I'm going to see it again.
Yeah.
And then, so I didn't go, I saw her video, didn't really think about it again, but then she posted another one and she's like giving an update. She's like, don't worry, I'm not crying because I got freaking like attacked.
Destroyed for that? Jeez.
And I was like, for what? For crying?
For being
because
emotional about your
something
home?
you built? But like, I'm just like, that's the part where, and we've talked about this on the podcast so many times, where I think people tend to try to like compare everyone's pain and then give you like a scale of how much you can mourn or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's so unfair because yes, maybe she's more well off and she's crying over a podcast studio. And then there's someone else who's crying over like their small single family home that like they barely could afford. What? Like those are still traumatic things for like both sets of people.
And you're allowed to be sad.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to show those emotions.
I just think it's so gross that like even in this tragedy, people are finding ways to like troll and attack people for like,
even
I don't know.
people were talking about like Paris Hilton losing her house and how it wasn't a big deal. Like she'll be fine. And I was like, financially, yes, she'll be fine. But like she still lost her home. She lost her home where she had her child and like raised her family. And like, that's a lot. And so to like disregard that is just, it's stupid.
I know,
it's
even
crazy.
Again, Spencer Pratt, just because he's again, all I see on TikTok. But
I love it.
He was like, I would so much rather have no money and have my home back.
Yeah.
He's like, for all of you who are saying like, it's ridiculous, I'm making money right now. Like, I would rather have my home, like that my family grew up in. Like,
Also,
that's what
like,
I would rather have.
What's he supposed to do? If he's able to make money through these TikTok videos for his family to hopefully like go towards a home soon.
Yeah.
Good for him. Like good for him. Good for him. Even if that was hard in the beginning, I'm glad he set his pride aside and like did it anyways because it's working and he's making money for his wife and his kid. Like I would do literally whatever I could to do the same thing.
Same.
So like more power to him. People are dumb. People are dumb.
No. All this to say, check on your loved ones.
In 10 days, check again.
I'm really like, I feel like I've just been so much more like appreciative of stuff. And like, I don't know, my heart is extra like soft and mushy right now.
Yeah.
And I hope that like everyone continues that. And like we said, just keeps on.
Yeah. Because people don't have things. People don't have things. And things are, it doesn't sound like it's that important, but they're important.
Yeah.
Even last night, after like a long weekend of trying to help out where I could, I took a hot shower and read on my Kindle and I was like, what if someone lost their Kindle?
I know.
Or all their books or like whatever it is that they like wind down with. Like that's heartbreaking. So reach out. In 10 days, reach out again. In 10 days, reach out again. And hopefully we'll all get through this.
Yeah. And if you guys are looking for, I know like for me, I get very overwhelmed because I'm like, I don't know what's like legit or not. And everybody's posting so many things. We've been posting resources, but if that's something you're looking for and want to continue to look into, we do have a static post that has some resources, but also just like hit us up, like DM us if you're looking for ways. We're trying to stay as connected with people we know personally and also organizations that are like doing amazing things. So feel free to reach out because I know it can feel overwhelming and we're all in this together, as Troy Bolton
We're all
once
in this together.
That's, you know.
And on that note, as you guys know, we like to be the podcast to help distract you from your day-to-day life. So whether you are having a really hard time right now or it's just another day, let's get into the distraction portion.
Yeah, that's what we do
episode.
as a fam.
That's what I do. That's what I've been doing.
Literally, we are your Legos.
That's what I do best.
Me, when I'm having a terrible day and people are like, hello, and I'm just sitting there like with the Lego, like nothing exists. I'm fine.
I almost fostered a dog yesterday.
Girl, the way I literally, Ashley, same. And I had to get off socials for a while because when the wave of people started posting videos of animals running and stuff, I was having a very hard time, but I'm like, should we all go in and rent like a house with a giant yard?
Yes. I was like, I messaged and emailed and was on the phone with a couple different animal shelters and was like, I can take a small dog. And then they said everyone came and took everyone and we were good. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. They were like, we're still accepting funds, but like as of right now, we don't have any dogs. And I was like, can't take cats. So I was like, dogs is what I know best. I can do that. And then my friend Nicole messaged me and was like, these dogs need a home. And I was like,
is that the one you posted on your story?
Yes.
Oh.
Avia, she's perfect. She's just like the cutest little hippo. And she was a mom and all her puppies got adopted, but she never did.
Girl.
And it broke me. And I'm literally going to cry now. But I was just like, I can take care of her. I can love her for a month or for 2 months. And then Nicole sent me the number. I ended up chatting with her. And then she was like, are you sure you're okay to take a big dog? And I didn't realize how big she was. And then Jackson was like, you don't have a yard. And I was like,
you're like, why are you clipping my wings?
I was like, Jackson, no. And then he was right. I was like, I have 0 room. And my Chloe actually hates other dogs. And I was like, how would that work?
I was even going to just volunteer my parents' house, like just show up with a dog because they have a yard, but their dog is the worst with other dogs.
And then in my head, I was like, Alicia can take Chloe. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then she's actually not home right now. She went to Riverside with another friend and they brought their 2 dogs. So there's actually 5 dogs at my parents' house currently. And I was just like, oh, so I can't get rid of Chloe. Even though I'm not getting rid of Chloe. But I was just like, so that's just like, I literally like sat in the car and cried and was just like, someone adopt her. Like she's perfect. I'm probably going to repost it. If she hasn't been adopted, I'll make sure I repost it on our UA socials. Because someone needs to get her because she's perfect. Back to the distraction.
Okay. Well, since we have talked about, I'm just going to do a quick update.
Yeah.
And then we can get into your story. This was from last week's.
I love updates.
The help I don't want to live with her.
Ooh.
Yeah, girl.
That was fast.
I know. Hi, Ashley and Taryn. As I was getting ready this morning, my jaw hit the floor when I heard my story title read on the pod. Things have happened since I last wrote to y'all.
Wait, did she write this morning?
Yeah.
That's crazy fast.
I know. I literally opened the email to go into my stories and then I saw update all big and then I was like, I know.
Awesome.
Oh, I know.
I love an update.
You probably all remember because this was literally last week. But they had a roommate, quote unquote, Stephanie. That was the roommate that is moving out. Mm-hmm. And then there was the girl, Liz, who was basically inviting herself to be
the new roommate.
Yeah.
Not everyone in the house liked Liz.
Not everyone was a fan. One of the girls is like closer to her, but they were like, they all agreed, nah, this is not it. They had another girl in mind and they were trying to figure out how to like.
You can be friends with someone and not be able to live with them. It's fine. I had a hard time living with my own sister.
But honestly too, like it's possible, but it really has nothing to do with the level of friendship. It has to do with your living styles.
100%.
And I think that's what people don't understand because they're like, well, she's my best friend. We never fight. And it's like, yeah, but like, what's your definition of clean?
And your best friend could be the type that brings a new guy over every single night, like, or every weekend. Like, sometimes that's just not gonna vibe with your lifestyle. Absolutely. And it's like, hey, like, do you, but like, I can't be here for this. Yeah. It's fine.
If we want to be friends,
I can't listen to
we
this.
We can't be roommates. Yeah. That's where
I support you from my own place.
I love you. You need to move out. Let's give it 3 to 5 business days, and then we'll hang out,
and
girl.
We'll go get
and
drinks.
Then come over for wine. Yeah. Okay. Basically, Stephanie, our roommate, is moving out. Who's moving out? Was on a retreat that Liz, the girl we didn't want to live with, was on right before we came back for a spring semester.
Okay.
We got a text from Stephanie saying that Liz approached her about it.
Of course.
Stephanie tried saying she should ask the rest of us directly since she's not involved with who will live there because she's moving out.
Yeah.
Then Liz asked Stephanie to ask us for her.
Classic Liz.
And included the whole, she said she has no clue what she'll do if she doesn't move in with you.
Wow.
Yeah. which is like
Kind of manipulative.
okay, but also goes back to my point of I'm telling you right now, I'm not begging anyone to love me.
No.
Like there comes a point where if you go on a self-love journey and you find your worth and what you deserve, something shifts in you where you're like, why have I been trying so hard to make this person like give me
I've been
common
on my
decency?
hands and knees begging to be best friends with this person.
The way we don't have time for that anymore. No.
Nope.
So this girl going to every single roommate saying, hey, let me live with you. Let me live with you. Then going to the roommate that's moving out and being like, hey, can you tell them I literally am going to be homeless if I don't live with them? Like, come on, Liz.
Yeah. Liz. Read the room, Liz.
Get it together.
They're all trying to be really nice. They're trying to they're like, how else do we tell her without telling her no?
And I've done that before where I've joked. I've been like, oh my gosh, like we should go do that. And then the response will be weird and it's never brought up again. And I'm like, I'm dying on the inside of embarrassment, but I will never bring this up again.
Noted.
Yeah.
Message received.
Just a PSA. I just put a cough drop in. So if I sound extra juicy.
Ew.
That's why.
Ew.
Ooh. Okay.
Half the people right now, if you're watching on YouTube, just went like,
I'm out.
just went like this.
I was sick. How long ago now?
Like a month ago.
Literally 3 days. I was sick, had the fever, whatever. And then I've been fine. But this like cough and congestion, I can't get rid of.
Well, also, it's windy and also there's smoke.
Oh, well, yeah, my allergies
like
are
anyone
like not
right
well.
now who has allergies or has like sensitivities or like breathing issues, we're a mess.
Yeah.
We're a mess. My eyes keep watering. My nose keeps running. It's
been, yeah.
It is what it is.
It's been rough, yeah. And we didn't want her to have to break the news when she, A, shouldn't have even been involved,
right.
and B, had to spend 4 more days with her on this retreat.
Right.
At the end of the day, our roommate, Sarah, whose friend we decided would move in with us, decided to message Liz and let her know. And she said,
way to go, Sarah.
Shout out to Sarah for taking one for the team.
Way to step up. I wonder if she's the friend that is least closest to her. Remember, I was like, let the friend who isn't that close, like take the brunt of it because they probably don't care anyways.
Yep. We were able to reason because Sarah's friend is really looking for cheaper rent, etc. And we had casually talked about her living with us back when we moved in. Right. So we didn't have to tell any lies either.
Nice. Win-win.
Win-win.
Y'all better buy Sarah something.
Literally.
Dinner, a drink.
Massage.
Workout class. Something.
If someone bought me a workout class, I would be like, why do you hate me?
I'd be like,
thanks.
Happy.
Yeah, I know.
Pilates is expensive.
No, girl. Literally. A while later, Stephanie told us that Liz got our message and seemed hurt at first. Then she decided to talk to another girl on the trip that had been looking for a girl to live with, and they seemed really excited about living together.
Perfect.
I have yet to have to face Liz since being back at school, so we'll see how that goes. Thank you so much for reading my story on the pod. It felt very reassuring that you said it's okay to be straightforward and that nothing is worth hating your living situation for a full year. I had a crazy roommate situation my sophomore year and it sucked. Sending all my love to y'all and the rest of the UA fam. Love, Anonymous. And then she attached a picture of her and the roomies.
Cute.
Love to see it.
I will say, like, the people that I've met in my life that give Liz usually are a little more, in general, straightforward, blunt, to the point. She seems like she might not be able to like read the room very often easily or like be very like socially aware. And people like that I know that would just like keep going at it really do better with a no.
Yeah.
And it feels harsh coming from someone like me who's so non-confrontational and doesn't know how to say no. But to them, they're like, well, why didn't you just tell me no? Or why didn't you just tell me you didn't have room, I could have spent all of my effort and time asking someone else.
It's almost like the breakups where you try to be like, you make all these excuses
It's
and
not
like
you,
it's
it's
just
me.
It's just at this time in my life. And I know, like, for me, my advice has changed so much when I have friends going through stuff where they'll be like, oh, I think I'm going to send this text. And I'm like, nope, that leaves it open. Like,
Don't be nice.
And I know, as someone who has a really hard time of letting things go and people go, if you give me the tiniest bit of hope, like, I'll cling to that.
Yeah.
So
there's
it's like,
a chance we're getting back together. So I'm not going to be like fully mourning you or processing this because there's you left a window cracked.
yeah. So I think sometimes, like, it's good to just be straightforward, and you don't have to beat that person up by being like, hey girl, we don't want to live with you because this. You can just be like, hey, so sorry. Like, we had something else kind of in the works that ended up going through.
Yeah.
But we wish you the best, and
best of
we'll
luck.
plan a movie night.
Yeah. And that's always worked with any girl that I've known that's that kind of personality. They're just like, well, why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, well, I tried
'Cause
10
you're
times.
scary.
10 times. And I thought you were going to kill me. Well, congratulations on getting the situation sorted. A huge like applause for Sarah
We
for
love
stepping
Sarahs.
up and doing the dirty work. Someone had to get that done, and I'm glad that worked out for you. Let's go ahead and get into my story.
I tend to be Sarah for a lot of people. I've been a Sarah for you, Ash.
You have been a Sarah for me.
Ash will get this look, and I'll just be like,
I'll be like,
and I'm on it. I got it.
my heart will leap into my throat, and I'll look at Taryn, and she's just like, so anyways, I was thinking blah, 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 blah. This one is titled, I met a guy, like in real life, ...
What?
But now what?
Does that happen?
Evidently. I didn't think it happened these days.
Wow.
Hi, Taryn and Ashley. I started listening to the podcast in the last year or so, and I am obsessed. I'm still getting through all the episodes as I tend to bounce around between new and old, but steadily I'm getting through them all. I love that you really care about your listeners and provide judgment-free advice. That's what we try to do. Okay. She says, now for a little bit about me. My name is but I'd like to remain anonymous, so bleep it, Michaela. I am 30 years old. I'm an Enneagram type 2, and I've never been in a serious relationship. I'm the type of person that just always prioritized other things, whether it be school, work, friends, family. And though I always felt like I craved that romantic relationship, I was happy. I've gone on dates here and there, but nothing serious ever came from it. In the last couple of years, however, that longing for a relationship and finding that person to start a family with grew dramatically, and I started really feeling the pain of it all.
Dude, 30.
30.
30?
That's when it hit me too.
There's a really weird thing that happens because I personally love turning 30.
Yeah.
I feel like I just felt like so settled and like, dang, I am like a whole person. Like, I know who I am. I feel like established, and I feel ready to just like attack my life. And I think you're so worried about being old. But the second I turned 30, I was like, girl, I'm still
exactly
so young.
the same.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm still exactly the same. But something comes, especially with being a woman. What'd I say?
No, just the way you say but.
Do I say but weird?
No, you say but.
But
Yeah, it's a very emphasized on the B.
dude, I've had so many people be like, why do you sound like you have an accent sometimes? I'm like, I don't know.
It's very but sassy.
Oh,
Is how I would interpret it. I don't hear an accent, but
bit.
I hear a
little bit.
yeah.
My the guy I'm dating says that he's like, you're white, but with seasoning.
I would agree with that. The sassiness, yeah, maybe Vanessa's rubbing off on you a little bit.
Girl, I've been like this. You know this. Since we met.
I've been like this.
I've been like this. Anyways, continue.
30.
I said but because I had a point, and then you just stole it.
The pain of it all. Okay. She continues, so I decided to really prioritize putting myself out there. I've been actively using dating apps and trying to put myself in situations to make new friends and meet new people, which is really, really hard for me. But I know it's all part of the process. As you are both well aware, dating apps can be exhausting.
Terrifying.
And going on a lot of first dates without meeting someone you're super excited about can get discouraging after a while, which Taryn and I, girl, we have been there. Well, ... Surprisingly enough, I ended up meeting someone I'm excited about through a new mutual friend. Basically, a friend I met in the last year who's new to the area met a group of other friends through a running group that she had signed up for. She is currently dating someone else. So as I was talking about my failed dates one day, she was like, oh, you should meet this guy I met through the running group. We ended up planning a group hike where I was able to meet him. And after that, we also planned a couple of group activities. After getting to know him a bit, I was like, wow, I actually have a little crush on him. And it would be cool to go on an actual date with someone that I met in real life.
Love that.
The problem is, I think he's very unaware that I am at all interested, and I have no idea if he's interested in me, LOL. We've exchanged phone numbers and Instagrams, but that's about it. All text communication has been in group chats. The other problem is that my friend who introduced me to him also just met him in the last couple of months, so they don't necessarily have a level of friendship where she can really like ask him what he thinks.
That was going to be my first thing.
Yeah. So since turning 30, I've decided that I should be a bit more bold in life because what have I got to lose? But, all caps, she put but. My question is, what's the best way to make the first move and see if he'd be interested in actually going on a real date so that we can see what happens? I'm not the best at flirting, so I can really use all the ideas that you might have to keep it from being a super awkward conversation. Thanks for reading this. I apologize that it was long. It was not. And I'd be stoked if I actually got some personalized advice from you guys. I've also attached a picture of me and my puppy. Love, Anonymous. This is her and her dog. And you know what, Anonymous? You're in luck because I've never met someone who is so good at seamlessly starting these kinds of conversations than Taryn, to the point where when I first really started taking dating apps seriously in my 30s during COVID, I literally would just be like, I'm interested in him. Start the combo. And she would just type something up and I would let her. I wouldn't even look. I wouldn't even have to like clear it because I didn't care. I was like, you know what? I just want to know if he's interested so we can go. And Taryn is great at that. So take it away, Taryn. Take it away,
Welcome
Taryn.
to Flirting 101. No, I'm just kidding. You know what? I've tried to like figure out what the like equation is.
Yeah.
And I really think there's multiple things involved. One, you have to really pay attention to the other person because that's how you find your in. I'm listening for any detail they talk about like work, family, anything as my way to like start a conversation or say anything.
We got running, we got hiking.
Yeah. The other part is you have to stop overthinking what you're going to say and like say the weird joke and say the weird thing because it disarms the other person because then they're just like, oh, it's funny, it's casual, it's whatever. The more you can be funny and casual and whatever, the more you can also play off if they're not feeling the same way. Like you're just a cool girl. You're just having a conversation.
Yeah.
I think for this guy, you met through mutual friends. If you're trying to get in on this group and like be friends, and if part of the end goal is like, I still just want to be friends with him, even if there's nothing. My approach would be a little more long gamey in regards to like, I would just be like, hey, like, what are you up to today? I'm bored. Like, want to go get a drink or like, just make it casual and like hanging out. Then as I start to feel like, is there a vibe or something? I've said this so many times and I've used this on so many guys and it's been successful whether they say yes or no. But it's just, I've even had you say this to multiple guys. But it's the whole, hey, I don't want this to be like weird or anything, but sometimes I feel like I might be picking up on a vibe. Just want to see if that's like something you're also feeling or if this is totally in my head. Like, and then sometimes I'll be funny, like check A for yes, check B, for this conversation to like self-destruct and we'll never talk about it again. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just being light and playful of like, hey, like, is there a vibe here? Like, is there not? And then just kind of going from there. But I think men like when a girl can make a first move, and that can look like anything. So I feel like for you specifically, what are we wanting this outcome to be? If you're like, I'm not really looking for more friends, like I'm looking to date someone or not, then be more bold and be like, hey, I think you're like super cool. And I was just wondering like if you'd ever want to grab dinner sometime. Super casual. If he says no, he ghosts you. Instead of taking that as a rejection, take that as an answer to your question. And like, that's it. And move on, find someone else. But I don't know. You just gotta like, I think people just like overthink things.
100%.
And I don't overthink it. Maybe I'll like, it's like when you're brainstorming something, right? Like you throw out a bunch of stuff and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that was really funny. So it's not that you have to send everything you think of, but
100%.
There's super easy ways to just like throw something out, you know?
Yeah. I think the thing that I think you need to remember, Anonymous, is that you met him in real life. You know him in real life. So you don't have to come up with these like clever text messages necessarily. If I were you, that's not in my skill set. That is in Taryn's skill set. What I would do if I didn't want to text anything, I would just start trying to get one-on-one time with him. Like angle that way. If you're doing a group hang, like try to run by him. Or a group run, then try to run by him. If you're doing a group hang, try to sit by him. If you're doing a group hike, try to hike by him and like try to start conversation. If he seems like the conversation's flowing good, then like next time you're quote unquote bored and want to go for a hike and no one's available, then just text him and be like, hey, like I'm trying to go on a hike, but no one wants to go. Are you free? And then hopefully you end up hiking together, running together, like doing something together. And then that makes it way more comfortable to do it more often. That makes it way more comfortable for me personally. I do better in smaller groups, not bigger groups. So then I'm able to actually have more intentional conversation instead of more surfacey, shallow conversation. That's just me personally. But when it comes to finding a guy and letting him see the best side of you, the goal should be to constantly try to show him the best side of you. So if you don't do good in these group things, again, I'm talking about myself, then try to get one-on-one time with him. If you do good in group things, then like invite everybody, be the host, like be the center of attention, let him see you shine and start those little conversations. And I think it's way more easier to tell if someone likes you personally, if you're one-on-one, because it's all about how they act towards you. And if it's giving that he might possibly like you, then maybe take that step forward and be like, do you want to get drinks sometime?
Yeah.
You don't have to say it's a romantic thing. You don't have to say I have a crush on you. You don't have to be like, is something going on here? Because maybe it's not, but just invite him out for drinks.
And honestly, guys, I think sometimes we forget that like men thrive off of attention just as much as women, but they don't ask for it as much.
Yeah.
Because that's how a lot of men were raised. But they love getting complimented. They love being told things. So it's like when you're one-on-one with him, just be more intentional about like asking tons of questions. Like ask him about his job. And then when he says something about his job, ask him about that relationship and then ask him about school and like be invested and then find also certain ways to like throw in compliments. Like a compliment his like outfit he's wearing.
And it doesn't have to show that you have a crush on him. That's the
it can
whole
be
thing.
so casual.
The amount of times I'll just look over at Jackson and be like, okay, someone woke up and chose hot today. Like it doesn't have to show that you have any feelings towards him whatsoever. Just give him a compliment. See how he reacts. Like you can say little things like that. Like, oh my God, those pants fit you perfectly. Like what brand are they? And you can just like give little compliments that feeds them just as much as it feeds us. And I think that's a really good, clear indication. Their response is a good, clear indication of like how they feel. They're either going to say thanks or they're going to be like, oh my gosh, thanks.
Yeah. You got this, girl. Just don't overthink it. Like literally just go for it. Text him and be like, hey, I'm trying to hike, but I'm also not trying to get murdered. Like, are you available to hire as my bodyguard? Like, make it like fun, light, like in the beginning, or just straight up text him and be like, hey, would you want to get a drink or dinner sometime? Like,
It doesn't have to.
Guys like it.
I think as women, we feel like we have to like, it shows that we have feelings. It doesn't have to show
But also,
deep
who
feelings.
cares? Because if he's the guy for you, he's going to be like, oh my God, like she's interested. Cool. If he's not, then you know.
Yeah.
And then you just move on. Like, that's the thing is I think sometimes we're like so scared that we have to say like the perfect thing or do the perfect thing or it's going to scare the guy away. And like at the end of the day, if a guy is that easy to scare, do you want him?
Yeah. Your future man shouldn't be scared away that easily.
No. So just say the thing, throw the thing out. And like, I think when you start to realize that rejection is not personal, rejection is just you are not that person for him.
Yeah.
Just as so many other men are not that person for you. And you don't hate them. You don't actively like make fun of them and be like, ha ha, remember that one time that guy thought I was cute? What an idiot. Like, you know what I mean? No one thinks that way. So if you don't take it personal and you see it as, why am I going to waste my time pining after someone if they don't feel the same? So
100%.
Let me shoot my shot. And then I'm done. And that's why I'm so bold is because I see it as that.
Yeah.
Like,
And I know so many people who have feelings for friends and they're really worried about it ruining their group dynamic or their friendship dynamic or their work dynamic or whatever dynamic they have at play right now. The best thing for you in this situation is you just met him. Mm-hmm. There is no dynamic. Like you have a kind of a group hang thing going on, but it sounds like your friend's the runner, not you. So it's not like it would ruin your current routine that you've made. So like, why not shoot your shot? Why not like go for it?
And also like,
and you can redeem it.
You
Won't
can
ruin
recover.
the friendship.
Yeah.
It might be awkward the first 2 hangs that you hang out, and then all of a sudden it's not awkward anymore.
I've literally said before to a guy, like I saw him and I could tell it was awkward. And I literally walked up. I was like, oh my God, remember that one time I like asked you out and it was like so awkward. And he's just like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, let's not like make it weird.
It's
like,
over.
Let's be normal. Like, I swear we're cool. Like, calm down. Like, I know I said you were cool, but I'm not obsessed with you. Like, chill out. And then you just like move on. But I think like, I don't know. We need to go into this year not doing things because we're afraid. Like,
exactly. And
everything
she's already,
is an answer.
She's already starting it with the whole I turned 30 and I don't really care anymore. And that's how it happened for me. That's how it happened for Taryn. So I would just keep that ball rolling and like roll with it. And when you get a no, you just find someone else to try again with. Like that's how dating works. And it'll make you tougher. And then one of these days, some guy's going to be like, hell yeah, let's do it. And you're going to be like, it worked.
It worked. Yeah. You got this.
You got this,
30
Anonymous.
is not a death sentence. It's the beginning of your life.
Better not be because I'm 35 now.
No, we're thriving in our 30s.
Yes.
Thriving.
Yes.
But yeah, you got this. Just be bold. Be brave. And
be brave,
the
be
worst,
bold, be
beautiful.
beautiful.
The worst, I always think worst case scenario because it always makes me feel better because like, honestly, even this is going to sound so morbid, but if I'm like going to do something and I'm scared, I'm like, the worst thing that could happen is I die. Okay. But then I'll be in heaven chilling and I'm not going to care about any of this anyways. And then like, it's so crazy because to me, like, even when I think about the worst thing, I know that like I will be okay. So when I think in scenarios like that, I'm like, the worst thing is he's going to say something rude or just never talk to me again. But then I know, and then I move on and I'm not like spending every single day fantasizing about our like romantic life and what it's going to be like the next time I see him. So it's just, I think we got to stop underestimating our own strength and resilience. And you just enter into things boldly. And then whatever happens, you make the next move. Like one step at a time.
100%. I love it. You got it, Anonymous. Go shoot your shot.
But also tell us what happens.
I know. If you want to give us an update and tell us exactly what you said and exactly what he said, we would love.
We would love. All right. Are we ready for a dad joke?
Yeah, we are.
What did the grape say when it got stepped on?
He started whining.
I don't know why I'm shocked every time. I mean, close. It says nothing. He just let out a little whine. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You get it.
I think I'm starting to.
It's funnier when you get the humor. When you don't get the humor, you're like, that's so stupid. It still is stupid, but that's the point.
It's stupid humor.
It's stupid humor. It's like, oh my God. If a dad joke doesn't make you like roll your eyes, then it's not a dad joke. You know what I'm saying?
Why did the toilet paper roll down the hill?
Why?
He was trying to get to the bottom. Well, I feel like we made it.
We have made it.
I feel like we've done it. We've done it. Does the podcast end here now? That
I mean, Ashley guessed the answer to a dad joke and then brought her own. So, like, what is happening?
Guys, if you made it to the 2 dad jokes this episode, then you already know the drill. We love you the mostest. If you have a story that you need advice on, or if it's a work thing, a relationship thing, literally anything, could be funny, could be serious, you have to email us. That's your job in this relationship. So where do they email us, Taryn?
Advice, unsolicitedpod@gmail.com.
Follow us on Instagram. We're going to be hopefully connecting you to a lot of organizations to support everyone affected by the fires in LA. And we love you so much. And we'll talk to you next week.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.